taking blame for inflation? No.
Why not?
Because it was already there when I got here, man. Remember what the economy was like when I got here? Jobs were hemorrhaging. Inflation was rising. We weren't manufacturing a damn thing here. We were in real economic difficulty. That's why I don't.
Yeah, that was President Joe Biden saying on Friday he's not taking any responsibility for inflation, saying it was a problem when he took office. Well, rising prices remain a problem, up more than 7% in the past year. The Federal Reserve hiking interest rates for an 8th time to try and slow the problem. On the bright side, though, egg prices, once above $7 per dozen, are starting to decline now as inflation and the bird flu outbreak drove that price up. And what a sign of the times. Border Patrol agents reporting that they're seeing an increase in egg smuggling across our southern border since eggs are so much cheaper in Mexico, with CBP saying that there were 2,000 encounters between November 1st and January 17th. So it is positive news in terms of egg prices. It is bad news for Tesla's top-selling Model Y. The electric vehicle maker raising those prices of the car about 2%, they say, due to rising demand and changes to government rules on tax credit eligibility. All of this sparking concern among consumers of looming fears of a recession. We want to get to the bottom of it. Joining us now to discuss the state of the economy, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, Scott Bauer. Scott, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Former Trump economic advisor Gary Cohn believes there is nothing to worry about. I want to get your reaction. Let's listen to it together quickly.
I think the people that have been really worried about a recession in the first and second quarter of this year, I think after what we've seen this week with both Chairman Powell's announcements and the data in unemployment, I think that recession is off the table for Q1 and Q2 of this year. You know, we're going to get another employment report before the next Fed meeting, and we'll see where the economy is going. But it does feel like we're in relatively good shape here.
So, Scott, is it time for recession fears to subside?
Listen, I believe we're in a recession already. I think we've been in one for the better part of 6 months. The government looks at it as a recession as 2 quarters in a row of negative GDP growth. I don't care what the numbers say. If you ask people out there on Main Street, it is more difficult now. Prices are higher. That's how I measure that we've been in a recession. Now, I'm certainly not going to argue with a Gary Cohn who says things are great out there. But what he did really say is that he doesn't see a recession in first or second quarter this year, but perhaps down the road a little bit. So I definitely agree with that, but I think we're already in one.
Interesting. What are you forecasting? What are you seeing? Do you believe that perhaps in the last 2 quarters we are going to see a recession this year?
Again, I think things are actually pretty good given all of the circumstances going on with the Fed raising rates 8 times, mortgage rates going from 3% up to 6% in less than a year, and prices seemingly just going through the roof. So I think we're actually in a pretty good spot right now. And the one thing that concerns me, though, is that the Fed is going to have to continue to raise rates. Even though there's all this talk that they, may be getting to a top here, last week's or Friday's jobs report, which was just absolutely, blown out of the water on the upside, which is really a good thing for the economy. But that's what the Fed is focusing on. And if those jobs creations don't start to come down a little bit, they're going to keep hiking rates. That's what concerns me the most moving forward.
I appreciate it. And it's strange, the sort of good news, bad news situation we find ourselves in. Let's talk about Tesla quickly. What do you make of them raising the prices of the Model Y?
Everything's about supply and demand, but, I think they had cut prices across the board not too long ago. Now, all of a sudden, they're raising prices, but I know they're doing that partially because some of the government credits have been pulled back. So they're looking to get a little more edge there, if you will. But listen, we're in a supply and demand economy. If there is, massive demand for their product, they're going to raise prices a little bit.
And certainly we have covered smuggling at our southern border in all kinds of different ways. Eggs, what an interesting sign of the times, right? And I mean, if they are around $9 for a dozen at one point here in the U.S. and still $1 and change in Mexico, you can see why it would be tempting for people to want to smuggle it in.
No question about it. And I'm sure there's many other products as well that we could probably research and find the same thing. I think it's a little, out of the ordinary, obviously, and maybe just a bit overstated that people are smuggling eggs across the border, but I could see, at that price differential, people go to extreme measures.
Bottom line, economic outlook looking good for the rest of the year, or are we in for some hard times to come?
I think we're okay. I think the worst is behind us, but I don't think the picture is all that rosy.
Okay, Scott Bauer, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming in studio with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.